Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here again with my junk journals that I have made myself that for whatever reason I can't part with. So I've done a part 1, this is now a part 2. So far we've looked at this one and we have looked at this one. So let me just move these out of the way. So the next one that for, whatever reason, and like I said before, I mean, I don't really know why I've felt attached and compelled to kind of hang on to these. But for some reason, just something is making me, not want to part with them. So this one here, this is a ringbound journal. And the only reason that I can think that I'm wanting to hang on to this was I made this when I was going through a bit of a sort of low point, I suppose, in my mood. And, I was struggling a lot with my motivation and my mojo and things like that. And so I think this journal, perhaps, maybe why I can't bring myself to part with this is because, it feels a little bit sort of sentimental to me for some reason. I don't know, but that's what I'm putting it down to. So I did do a video doing 1 or 2 pages in this. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. And it was kind of a lacking motivation and lacking mojo video. I think I just worked on a couple of pages. I don't think I did any more on this journal, in that video or in that, on video. So it is a ringbound journal. Now, again, weirdly, the cover is very neutral and plain. I don't know, maybe this is just how I used to do them and, perhaps they've become more colourful of late. I don't really know because all the journals that I seem to have hoarded have been, from some time ago. So maybe this, this was just kind of how I used to do the covers. I don't know. But again, this is made from a soft envelope cover. And weirdly enough, I don't that often do soft covers when they're ringbound journals. But yeah, this one is. So it's been covered again with that lovely ivory hessian. That must have been, another favourite thing at the time because obviously that's a theme that's run through a couple of the journals. And then what I've done is on the front cover, I've just layered up a whole different bunch of laces. We've got some pearly trim. We've got a handmade flower here. Some of that gorgeous bridal lace that I've used sometimes, some other pearly trims up here. And then it's on the big rings and I've just got a little bit of lace kind of hanging from there. And the back I just left completely plain. So going inside this journal, again, it's got a large pocket here on the inside. And all I did was made a little kind of flippy journal in here. This is so simple, I can't tell you. It's just some coffee dyed paper and then I've just put on some various images here. It's got some glittered elements. I'm hoping the camera's picking that up just around the edge of the flower. And this, I think, was glittered paper in the first place. And then on the inside of the front cover, I just popped a stamped image down there as a pocket and then just tucked in a little journal card there from my gorgeous girls kit. And then a couple of flowers, which again are just kind of glittered around the edge of those. And then it's just got a variety of, random size pages in there. So that has just then been stitched all down in the middle on the sewing machine. So that just goes into that large pocket. So on the inside of the front cover, again, obviously I've covered it with some paper and things. I think some vintage, genuine vintage paper here. Just going to have a sip of my tea. And then to reinforce it, I have just put some more of that ivory hessian on here. Just kind of along, where the, rings are going. And then I've got some flowers and various different things layered up, some lace kind of hanging here. So, it just all kind of keeps with the theme. And then here I've just got some string attaching this little fold out. And this is just a kind of tri-fold. I mean, it's not even, it's not even equal, if you see what I mean. It's not kind of quite neatly folded, but, it looks fine. And again, it's just got some stamped images and things on the front and some soft net. And that just ties up. Oops. Ties back up here. So, I mean, you've got obviously the journaling, inside that little trifold. And then here I've just got my little photograph here again from a book, which I've just backed onto some ivory card. Now, I'm thinking there's a theme running through here, so I'm wondering whether just maybe I was going through a bit of a hard time at, you know, at the sort of moment when I made these, and perhaps I just couldn't bring myself to part with them because I was kind of struggling with my mental health. I don't really know. But I'm just kind of looking and thinking, oh, some of these seem to have, you know, contained similar items. So perhaps I made these at similar times and that's why I just couldn't part with them. I don't really know, to be honest. But on the facing page, so this is just some coffee dyed paper. I think I've just folded it in half and then stitched it round on the sewing machine. Stuck some bits and pieces on there. And then I've got this really pretty soft pink lace, which I have stitched around on the edge to form a pocket. A little bow on here and some bits here. And then this has got just a large journaling card that I made there. You know, it's all obviously in this pretty coffee dyed and the stamped type colours. So yeah, quite a muted journal here. And then going over the page, I've got a bulldog clip here, which is just holding this item on here and also this photograph. So this again, yep, it is glued down. I was trying to remember whether it was. Haven't looked at this for a really long time. And then we just open this out, oops, like that. And it's, you know, obviously quite a large sheet of paper then with plenty of journaling space. So that just all goes back in and then just ties back round here. Just looking out the window, the sun's shining. It looks like it's going to be a really lovely day. I'm filming this, it's about 10 o'clock. But yeah, we've had it a bit overcast the last few days, but I'm hoping it's going to be a really nice day today. And then here's another little picture from a book, again, just backed onto some ivory card. Journaling space here and some bits and bobs stuck around here, and then some lace just down the bottom and a handmade flower there. Bit of lace at the top and then a couple of pearly flower trims up there. So this just then, like I say, clips on with the bulldog clip. This is a tiny bulldog clip. I'm not sure whether I've even got any of this size anymore, but I love this size, so I must try and have a look for some more. And then on the facing page, so I think I used a combination of coffee dyed papers, which I've used for the, you know, the base of the pages, and also some book pages. So this one here, this is some book page, which again, just like, you know, put a few together and then stitched around it on the edge, and then collaged up some bits in the greys and the kind of muted tones and this pale pink. We've got some pale pink lace here, which just kind of flips back like a fabric tip-in. Bit of journal space there and a flower. Popped some glitter around the flower as well, just for continuity. And then in here, just another journal card, just slots in like that. Another flower up there with a pearly trim. Then here we've got very similar, little tuck spot down here, and then just a journal card which tucks in like that. The flower, you know, I've put the glitter on there just like I have on the other pages, so the continuity is kind of throughout the whole journal. And then we've got some lace trim and various bits of lace kind of popped around. Then on here we've got one of those pockets. Now this, I think this was a Crafty Irina pocket. I saw it on Crafty Irina's channel, oh gosh, years ago, when I very first started the junk journal journey. And yeah, I've just popped it in here. So popped a couple of journal cards in. So this one goes in here and this one goes in here. Now, just wondering, oh, I must have not put that down as another pocket area, but yeah, you could have glued that down and had a pocket here. Very tiny bit of velvet ruffle and again some lace and the glittered flowers up there. So it's actually quite an understated journal. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons why I couldn't bring myself to part with it, is because I really struggle to do anything understated. So for me, you know, this is unusual and unusually calm, unusually, you know, muted and understated. So another one of those little bulldog clips there, holding on just a journal card. And then under here, we've got a flower acting as a tuck spot, another journal card in there. And then we've got a frame and another frame. Now I'm just wondering, is this a... Yeah, so that's also a pocket. Is it a pocket? Ah, right, okay. So this is a pocket up here. So a big journal card in there, and it's also a pocket on the side, but I haven't put anything in there. So you've got quite a lot going on this page. And then this is also a pocket, and it's just got stitching around the edge, holding it together, some various bits on the front, and then tucked inside there I've just put a little kind of foldy piece and just some loose sheets of some coffee dyed paper. Some of those say shopping list. I think these were kind of from an old calendar that I had. So they're just contained within there, quite sweet, and then just slot into that little pocket like that, and the whole thing just goes into there. And then obviously the journal cards, they just clip onto the side with the bulldog clip, like, oops, like that. Oh, come on. Sorry, this is so tiny. I'm now struggling to actually handle it or hold it or use it. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, maybe that's not a good idea if I get some more, because I'm obviously struggling with that. Yeah, so that's that one. And then what I like to do with my ring-bound journals, and you've probably seen this before, is I then tend to, you know, in amongst the very decorative pages, because sometimes, you know, you might not have the most journaling space contained on there, but they are obviously, you know, very pretty to look at. What I then like to do is mix them in with just a few coffee dyed sheets. So I normally put about, I think it's 10. So it's 5 sheets of A4 cut in half. And I just leave them very plain for journaling like that. So that's what those are there. And then on this one, I've just got a bit of a cluster going on down the bottom, and obviously that's creating a tuck spot. And I just put in a little book page envelope where I've just got a very tiny journal card, and that just goes in there like that and tucks into there. So super cute. And then on this side, I've got here a tuck spot with another picture from a book backed onto there, and then a journal spot there, lots of journaling space here. This I think is, oh yeah, a little foldy piece there, so you know, rather cute, tucks underneath there. So lots of things going on this page, some lace and some flowers and, you know, pearl and diamante and things. And then going over the page, oh my goodness, I love this page. Right, let me just have a sip of my tea. Okay, so I love this page. This has got this gathered lace. Now, I think, trying to remember, I think, yeah, I gathered this lace. So I just made this pocket here with some sheet music, and then I stitched this lace in a gather. So it kind of looks, you know, like a skirt, or, you know, whatever you would describe it as. I don't very often do that, but really love how that looks. It's so pretty, isn't it? So when you move this out the way, you've just got the very pretty kind of underneath of the title of the sheet music, which My Little Shy Love, how gorgeous is that? And put that down. It's a bit like a fabric tip in. And then here we've just got a massive journaling card. So under here we've just got a couple of glittered flowers and a stamped image, and then this massive journal card. I think this was an altered, not a playing card, but you know, like a sort of children's game card, a bit like Top Trumps. It wasn't Top Trumps, but it was something like that. So it was in a larger size than a playing card would typically be. And I had a few of them, and, you know, sorry, I'm just rummaging with a carrier bag ready for some rubbish. I made a few of the cards into these kind of altered journal card type things. So love how that is, because it's obviously a nice big one, and you've got journaling space obviously on the back of there. So that just tucks in like that. And then on the facing page, we've just got a stamped image there acting as a pocket, a couple of little cards tucked in. So another one from a book. And then this one, does this open? No, it is just a stamped image there on some coffee dyed card and a flower in the corner. That all just tucks in there. We've got journaling space on here, and then a couple of little details around. We've got some lace and some, you know, glitter flowers, all kind of consistent with obviously everything else that we've already had further back in the journal. Lace trim here and a handmade fabric flower down the bottom. And then going over the page, we've got a little foldy out piece. Again, this is like a trifold that's been coffee dyed. So, you know, you've got nice journaling space in there. And then here we've got just an acetate stamped image of a frame, and then just some ribbon as a little tab. So that just opens out then for journaling like that. I haven't made this into a pocket. So it is quite interesting when you keep some of your old things, because you kind of see different things that you do, some of which you think, oh, I must do that again. Some of which you think, oh, well, actually, I do this now. So this one here has been made into a pocket at the side, and we've just got some coffee dyed paper, which this is actually some fly sheet from a book. So we've got here the take gallery when you open it up, but you know, I mean, you could obviously journal around there. It's only taken up a very small amount of space. And then just an image on the front, that's from my Gorgeous Girls kit, and then a little frame and another flower with some glitter around the edge. So that just tucks in like that. And then here we've got some glittered flowers, more lace down the bottom, and then up here we've got another pocket at the top, and then just a little flip down with some coffee dyed paper that just obviously tucks in up, whoops, up there like that. And then going on to this page, we've just got a small envelope, which I've, you know, used the same lace again for the continuity, and then an image from the Gorgeous Girls, and then some glittered up flowers there. And then when we turn it over, more lace, you know, again, running the theme through. And then we've got a little kind of cluster of items there that is then acting as a little closure or a tuck spot for the envelope flap. And then tucked in there, don't you just love that journal card? I'm just going to have a sip of my tea again. Hold on. Oops, hold on a second. That's the postman. Hold on. So then we've got this lovely journal card. Again, it's got some bits layered up and some glitter around here, and then coffee dyed paper on the back. So that just goes in like that and tucks in behind there like that. And then here we've got another page, which I think this is coffee dyed paper. We've got another little book page pocket on here. So we've got a pocket here, run down some of that pretty pink lace and various different things. We've got a bow, some glittered flowers and things. And then there's also a pocket in the back. So lots of things layered up on the back to make this look pretty. So tucked in at the back, we've just got a journal card here with a glittered flower on the front. So that just goes like that. And then here in this front one, we've just got here some printable with a couple of flowers and glitter on there, and again some pearly little bits on there. So that just goes into that one. And then here, I think this is, yep, the last page. So on this side of the page now, I feel like this might have been the bit that we did on video, but I honestly can't remember because it was quite a long time ago. We've just got more lace on here, another handmade fabric flower, and then we've got some string here tying this piece up. And then here we've got an opening little piece of coffee dyed paper. Oops, it's just got glued down there a bit. And then here it folds out. So you've got journaling space on here. And then that closes up and ties with the string like that. And then we've got obviously some lace running down the side. And then in here we've got just a little coffee dyed journal card with a piece on there. And then I think this, yeah, it's stuck down. I couldn't remember whether that was a journal card. So yeah, lots of different things in the background. So you've got some pretty bits and pieces going on there. And then this is the final page. It's the inside of the back cover. And we've got another one of those lovely images from a book, which has just been glued onto this page as a tuck spot. Again, I've used the same kind of piece of vintage ephemera as I used on here to cover the envelope. So we've got the continuity there. We've got some velvet ribbon running down the side and some Varimontes and a fabric flower. And then this is the tuck spot, like I say, and we've just got a little kind of fold out piece and a flippy pad with some lace on there. So that just tucks in like that. And then on the very final piece, we've got this opening flap, and then I've just made a very small flippy journal here with some bits and bobs, you know, different size pages all stitched in on the sewing machine. And again, just got some bits clustered on the front, which are, you know, in coordinating colours. So, you know, you have actually got quite a bit of journaling space, but the pages are very kind of decorative. I didn't put a closure or anything on this journal because actually although it's quite bulgy or bulky, it still actually lays pretty flat, and it's certainly not pinging open. So yeah, that's that one that I'm hoarding. So the next one is, it's another ring bound journal. Now I have to say, this is one of my favorite journals that I ever made, and that's why I've hoarded this. Now this one was a very early on journal that I made. I can't remember how far in I was, but it was one of my very first journals that I made, and yep, I've hoarded it ever since. Have not looked at it since then, so I might find that now when I look at it, I maybe will think, oh, it's not my favourite journal, or not one of my favourites, but it certainly was when I did make it. So it's smaller than a kind of A4 journal. I'm not sure what size this actual journal is, but yeah, it's not as big as this ring bound one, for example. You can see it's just fractionally smaller on all sides, so maybe like an inch smaller, and that one was an envelope journal. So on the front cover, it is, yeah, so this was using a book cover, hence it's nice and stiff. I've covered it with some book page, which you can just see there, and then put some coffee dyed lace over, and then this was, I think, some packaging, and then I've just layered it up with this gorgeous image here from a vintage book. And then I've just put this coffee dyed ribbon on here, some ruffled up lace with some vintage, not vintage, some bling, and then some bits of bridal lace on there. And this has got 3 rings like that. And the rings have all been, they haven't been anything, sorry, please ignore me. I was just distracted because I noticed that this little hole reinforcer was lifting, and I just really hate that when they do that. So it obviously distracted me. And I just need to now glue that back down with some wet glue. So I don't know whether I had glued it down in the first place, or perhaps this was before I started doing that. But yeah, it definitely needs a bit of glue to help it stay stuck. So I'm just going to stick that down like that. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. And then here on the top rings, I just put a little bit of lace, so it's in different sort of colours. We've got a sagey type green, or maybe that's a blue, depends kind of on your perspective. I'm not sure what I would call it. Maybe it's a blue, but it's been coffee dyed, so it's taken on a bit of a sage green colour. And then I've got this gorgeous brooch. Now this brooch, I think I got this from a car boot sale, and it is a vintage brooch. So that's another reason why I'm probably hoarding this journal, because I just loved the brooch so much. So yeah, that's it. And then on the back cover, it's just, again, it's the book page, and then it's just covered with some of the coffee dyed lace. And then going inside this journal, so I mean, this, like I say, was one of the first journals that I made, so we might see some different kind of things going on, I'm not sure. So in here, or on here, we've got a little fold out piece here. This is just some scrapbook paper, and I just then stuck on a vintage image from a vintage book there and stitched around there. So you've got obviously journaling space in here. I've got some paper bag underneath it, and then some lace just, you know, torn and very sort of scruffily put around the page. And then just tucked in there, just a bit of greaseproof paper, like a journaling card, which is greaseproof paper with some bits layered up on the top, and then just some coffee dyed paper on the back just for journaling. So that, it's a flimsy kind of journal card. It's more rigid than you would think because it has got a few layers going on. But yeah, I mean, it's not kind of solid by any stretch of the imagination, but you've got your journaling space there, and then obviously decorative details there. And that just tucks in to the side here, like that. And then on this page, it's a smaller page, and we've just got, I couldn't even tell you how I made this because it was such a long time ago, but I think I just kind of either folded an envelope over, or possibly I attached 2 envelopes, I'm not sure. Coffee dyed paper down here, and then some lace, and then this layered up butterfly. I mean, I still use layered up butterflies now, so, you know, quite interesting to see that they've stood the test of time. And then here I've just made a little tag, just with some scrapbook paper and some lace trim and a little yo-yo. And then this here is another little tag just made with some vintage sheet music, and then a couple of bits of, you know, hessian and lace just stitched on there, and again just some greaseproof paper, and then just stapled on a couple of little bits in the corner. So all very grungy. I think probably I was, one of the first people that I watched was Sagita's Coffee Stains. And, you know, she has a very grungy style. So I was obviously being hugely inspired by her at the time. I mean, I still love her work now, although I don't feel like I've seen any videos for her for a while. So I really hope that she's doing great and that maybe I've just missed them. I've got some fabric here as a little tab. Now this is a very full-on page. So on here, can't even tell you what's going on here because I obviously created this such a long time ago. We have got a little coin envelope down here. That's got a tag in there like that. All sorts of things layered up on there. Lots of lace and some lace that's ruffled. On here we've got a teeny weeny paperclip. Now this definitely, I have moved away from making such tiny things. So now I'm all about making huge things. I struggle to make teeny things like this. So yeah, I'm amazed I ever did. That one. And then in here we've got just a little book page envelope and a little folded up tag just with some coffee dyed paper like that. So that just then goes back with the paper clip like that and then just tucks into this, which is a little tuck spot. And this has just been stitched down onto here. So that just tucks over like that. And then at the back, this is also a pocket with another tag like that with just some stitched lace at the top. And then we've got just a teeny tag here, which I still like doing these types of things now. And we've got some organza ribbon and a little bulb pin there holding a really tiny tag on as well. So that just goes in there. We've got some fabric on there, just, you know, very grungy, lots of eclectic things going on. Then on this page, we've got a torn pocket, and then tucked into there, I've just got another big tag with a, you know, fabric tab at the top. We've got then the continuity of this fabric running down in the form of a ruffle, and obviously here, and it's the same fabric that's on here. So, you know, we've got a theme going through on this journal. And then here, this is just a little tuck spot with greaseproof paper. I think this was some wallpaper with an Eiffel Tower image. Again, you've got more of that fabric and some lace and things. And that's a tuck spot, just holding in a little tag there with a fabric tab at the top. And that just goes in there. Now, this is also a large pocket. So in the side here, oops, what have I got in the side? Oh, I might have two pockets going on here. Honestly, it's such a long time since I made this. It's very hard to remember. Right, it's actually got two pockets going on here, so I'm not even sure how I made this. But in the front pocket, we've got a fabric tag. Again, just, you know, picking up the fabrics. A lace pocket stitched on. Oops. And in there, we've just got some greaseproof paper with some, you know, stitched on other paper on the top and some lace, and then a fabric tab. And then it's just plain on the back for journaling. Obviously, you've got the nice detail of the stitching, and then just a stamped typewriter. So that just goes in there like that. And that just goes into that pocket. And then here we've just got a lovely coffee dyed tag just with some scrapbook paper and then some lace at the top, and just backed onto some coffee dyed paper at the back. That goes into that pocket. And then here we've just got some sheet music, and then this really layered decorative piece. So I mean, it's got no purpose, it's not a pocket or anything like that, but it's just there to look pretty. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different layers that have been stitched around on the sewing machine, and it's just really built it up to look really, really pretty. So I love how that looks, and I don't think I've really done that you know, since then, but love how that looks. Then we've just got a little flip out piece that's just attached here onto that pocket. So you've got some journaling space there. Then on this page, we've just got some scrapbook paper, again, more of that fabric, and then just a sheet music pocket here, a little clustery bit there, and a little stamped frame. And this, I mean, couldn't be more simple. It's just been die cut on my die cut machine, and then just some clustered bits and pieces stapled on in the corner as a sort of tab. So that just goes in there. And then this also is a pocket, so tucked, oh, it's another double pocket. I don't know how I've done these. So then we've got greaseproof paper making a sort of booklet So on the front, we've just got, you know, some scrapbook paper and some Hessian stitched around on the sewing machine. And then we've got some coffee dyed paper there for journaling. And that just tucks into that side. And then here we have got a little flippy pad. This is a whole bunch of different scrappy bits of paper, you know, different sizes and everything, but they are just all then stitched across on the sewing machine. And then some lace, which is again very grungy and, you know, heavily distressed, and then a little butterfly on there. So love how that looks. Just goes in there. Here we've got just some sheet music, and then just a little pocket at the bottom just with some scrapbook paper. It's been stitched around on the sewing machine. Little bit of kind of detail up the top with some, you know, layered laces stitched on. And then here we've got one of those Tim Holtz flowers. I love how that looks. Isn't that just so, so gorgeous? And then I just made a little, you know, journaling card, and then just popped that into there. Then we've got a sort of a regular shaped or sized page, so smaller page. This is just basically a pocket, which I've just made into a page. So you've just got a pocket here. It's got scrapbook paper and things. And then tied up, we've just got this gorgeous little foldy out piece. Oh, no, it's not tied up. Sorry. No, ignore me. Not even tied up. So it looks like it's tied up, but it's actually just a folded piece of coffee dyed paper. So yeah, love how that looks. And that just goes into there. And then here we've just got a belly band, and this has just been formed by layering up some bits and pieces. And again, another little scrappy, flippy kind of pad like that. That just goes in there. And then on this page, we've got some more of that fabric down the side, and then scrapbook paper. And then this has got a little flippy out. Oops, it seems to have bits hooked into there, so let me take those out. They're not supposed to be there. A little flippy out there with just a stamped piece on some coffee dyed paper. This is a pocket, and tucked into there we have got a whole bunch of things layered up on here, and then just coffee dyed paper on the back. Again, there's been lots of greaseproof paper in here, so we've got that nice crinkle going on, so that just goes in there. And then this is, again, it's a what do you call it, you know, flippy pad. And then we've got a large rusted paper clip and some lace. I just need to get my phone, so hold on a moment. Oh, sorry about that. That was my mum and dad. So yeah, they just phoned to just see what we were doing later on today, because I'm filming this ahead and it's the school holidays. So yes, I have just clipped this back onto kind of this little sort of flip out. I'm not sure, actually, might be better going that way. So that's on there. Now this again is a pocket, which now I'm wondering, were those first couple of pages pockets? No, they weren't. Right, okay. I wonder whether I've missed some. So this is a pocket here, and I've just put in a little tag. It's got a little sentiment on there. It says, oh, may the memories we make record the life that we live, I think it says. That just goes into there like that. Now, this one here, again, this is some beautiful vintage book page. Look at that gorgeous image. And I just layered that up on a couple of different sheets. So we've got some scrapbook paper and some book page. Stitched it around on the sewing machine, but you can probably see I've just torn that down. So it's super, super scrappy. And then I've got this lovely layered butterfly on there, which I also stitched across. I just love how that looks. And I've just placed that as a sort of belly band. And then placed also a little sort of stopper down the bottom, just with this, you know, layered up piece down here. So that literally has got just a little, you know, booklet type piece that's, you know, slotted in there. Just a scrap of lace there. Just, you know, that's all that page needed, but it looks really pretty. This is an actual vintage wool and nylon spool, so that's still got the original wool or nylon or whatever around there, so that just goes in like that. And then here, this is a little poem from a vintage book of World War I poems. Again, just stitched it and layered it with some book page and some fabric. And then I've put that on with sort of a little banner piece here, a little label, so the label is acting as a tuck spot for a tiny skinny tag. And then here we've got some fabric ruffle. And then here I've just popped in another journal card up there like that. this is another pocket. Oh, okay, so this pocket here, we actually have a little piece that's tucked into the pocket but hanging out, if you see what I mean. So it's tucked in, but it's actually hanging around the front. Again, it's from that lovely vintage book. You can probably recognise it's a very similar picture. Layered up onto lots of things. So again, sort of seeing how your style evolves over time, I seem to layer a lot more than I do now. Loving how that looks. So I might have to do some more bits like that. And then just a bunch of scrappy pages inside, you know, all different shapes in there, sizes anyway, in there, and all just stitched on the sewing machine. Very grungy, you know, very kind of screwed up sort of coffee dyed cover, but yeah, love how that looks. So that just goes in to that pocket. So if I just put the whole sort of booklet in with just the outer cover, you know, hanging out over the page like that. And then under there, we've got some book page and then a belly band, which again, I mean, how much more simple can you get? It's just some sheet music and some fabric stitched down with just this little butterfly piece torn on. And then a couple of bits on the side for detail, a little handmade flower down there. And then just another one of those book page envelopes. Super simple, just put some scrapbook paper on the flap as a bit of detail. And then just some coffee dyed paper folded like that. And I actually had that tucked out over there like that. So that all just tucks in there. And then the scrapbook paper over the top, which, how pretty does that look? So that just closes like that. And then here we have got, oh, what have we got? Ah, right, it's a book page envelope. Not a book page envelope, sorry, a sheet music envelope. And then we've got some of the pretty blue lace running down on the flap. It's been stuck obviously sideways on, or, you know, tool lengthways on. This is a little handmade flower, and we've got a bulb pin with a pearl, and then a couple of little bits of fabric kind of just held on with the bulb pin. And then tucked into the side, I've done it like a pocket. We've just got a little journal card, so that just tucks in there. And then here, when you open it out, again, just did similar to what we just saw, in that I just took the coffee dyed paper and folded it in with the flap overhanging like that. And then here, this is very pretty. It's actually not a pocket. I think I did this because the paper wasn't actually the same, you know, the big enough to cover the whole thing. So I just kind of layered up some paper and things, and then some coffee dyed ribbon with one of those, you know, faux diamante buckles. So really pretty. And then some more of that fabric just ruffled at the bottom. Then we've got a pocket in here and another fabric tag with this time a belly band with some sheet music, and then just a little booklet tag tucked into the belly band like that, and some more of the blue lace there just as a, you know, a little tab on the tag. So that just goes in like that. And then here we've got some sheet music here, and that's just forming a very large pocket. Just made a sort of tag here with just a die cut shape. Again, more of that super, you know, lots of layers going on there, stitched around and then just glued on, overhanging, just some organza ribbon. How gorgeous is that tag? It's things like that that I kind of seem to have forgotten over the time. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing something a bit similar to this perhaps going forward. So then we've got just a simple tag there that just tucks in very, very, very simply to this little tuck down the bottom. And then here we've got another pocket page. We've got a little altered paper clip. Again, this has got a layered butterfly and it's been glued onto that paper clip. Again, I don't seem to do things like this anymore. This feels like it would be quite complicated for me to do. And then we've got a tag here with lots of layering, lots of stitching, and, you know, coffee dyed on the back, and then just some coffee dyed lace on the front. Journaling space here and some lace top and bottom. That just clips on here like that. And then tucked into the pocket, we have got here just a couple of pages. Again, a regular shaped, just scrapbook paper, but again, that lots of layering going on there. So that just goes into that pocket. And then here, love this page. I can remember doing this page and loving it so much. So yeah, that's probably another reason why I've hoarded this and the brooch. So I've got this coin envelope here. or policy envelope, perhaps I should say. And instead of having, you know, the policy envelope closure top and bottom, I've got this lovely Diamante piece. Now, you can probably see one of the Diamantes is even missing from here, but I still used it because I just absolutely loved it. And then I put this man, he's very layered up, and just put the, you know, the policy closure bit down here. Now, I like to think that I've improved how I do these over time. This was one of my very early ones. Wasn't brilliantly successful, but it's okay. It does hold it closed. But yeah, really, really love this page. And then inside there, have I actually got anything in there is the question. Oh no, look what I've just done. I've just torn it straight down the side. Right, I don't think I actually had anything in there. It is a very tight, you know, tight closing policy envelope anyway. And now, of course, you know, I've torn it. So not great. So yeah, I don't think I put anything in there because it was such a tight opening. And then I've put it in as a top loading pocket, and I just put a small tag into there. So yeah, that's that. And I also put some eyelash trim coming out behind that pocket. So we've got quite a few things going on layered around here. So yeah, really, really pretty. And then here on the very final page, on the inside of the back cover, so no pocket here or anything, because of course it's that, you know, solid book cover. We've just got sheet music, some more of that ruffle, and then here just got some lace going across as a pocket. Tuck in just a little, oh, yeah, just a journal card here, just from some coffee dyed paper and some bits layered up. So that just goes in there. A little kind of cluster of stuff here, forming a tuck spot, and then a skinny tag, and that just slots into there like that. So yeah, just a really, really different journal. And like I say, it's actually really interesting when you look back to see kind of where your work has maybe evolved. And I'm not necessarily saying, you know, got better, but just changed and altered over time. And, you know, sometimes we just go through trends. You know, we might do certain things for, you know, a time and then do something else. But it's quite interesting to look back, isn't it? How we've kind of evolved and grown over time. So that's that one. And then the very final one that I'm hoarding. So this is not a journal. This is a folio. And this one is, it's a fabric folio. As you can see, it didn't even bulk out very much. So, you know, yeah, I clearly have kind of gone over the top with folios since then, because my folios now seem absolutely bulging at the seams and don't actually kind of close shut like this. So I think this was one of my first folios that I actually did that was like an envelope folio, and I've covered it with fabric. I think I worked on quite a bit of this on film with you guys. The closure itself is a snippet roll. So it's one of my early snippet rolls, one of the first ones I ever made. And I just popped on a couple of, you know, pop studs there. That's how it closes. So that's my closure. And then the fabric cover goes right round the, you know, all three of the sides of the folio. Like that. Love, love, love the actual front of this, I have to say. Really, really pretty. I've got this big bow and, you know, just different fabrics layered up, and yeah, just really, really love the colours of it. It really looks pretty. Now I'm just thinking what's going on here. Oh, this I think is coming apart, so it will need stitching or re-gluing perhaps. In here I have got a pocket with a copy of, you know, a printable vintage photo, and then just some bits of fabric down here, and then opening up. So on here we've got, this is, I think, some genuine vintage, you know, sheet music cover. And then I've clustered up some items on here with stitching and some lace and some bling and things, some lace down the side and some bits and bobs here. And then tucked into here, I've got coffee dyed copy of some vintage ephemera. Feels very, very, very vintage, that does. It's not vintage, but it feels it. And then here we've just got a printable, sorry, which is an envelope. Again, stitched on the sewing machine. This is from my Victorian Florals, I think, set 1, I think. But I just absolutely love this pattern. Lots of bits layered up on there, and then some printables of some vintage photographs, and they just all tuck into there. And then, oops, come on. That just goes in like that. Sorry, I had to just clear my throat there. I had a bit of a frog in my throat. So then we've got a little kind of opening flap here. And on here, I've got a paperclip holding in a vellum envelope. I love the vellum envelopes. So this is on some book page, just vellum. This is from my awesome architecture kit. And some lace and bling. And then again, some more vintage photograph printables. They just slot into that envelope like that. And then this then all tucks into this pocket. So this was an envelope. So they just all tuck in there like that and obviously clip on. But before I do that, I'll just show you what's going on here. So we've got one of those little doobry things that moves out of the way. And that just opens out into a little fold down flip flop. And then here we've just got a printable kind of photograph, so that just closes like that. Another printable photograph there, and that just goes into there. Love how this looks. I mean, how brilliant is that lace with this printable? So like I say, this is, I think, from my Victorian Floral set 1, but yeah, doesn't it look great with that gorgeous coloured lace? So that just goes in like that. This is then another pocket. We've got another printable tucked in up there. And all of these are from my coffee dyed note card printables. And then that just closes with the paper clip. That pocket's empty now, other than obviously the envelope. Here we've got journaling space. So I left that side obviously plain for journaling. Journaling space there. This has just been stitched into here. And then on this side, it's actually a pocket where we've just got, again, this is just a printed version, and I printed this in like black and white, and yeah, it's all just been coffee dyed, but I thought colour wise this just goes brilliantly with this, so that just goes in to that envelope. And then we've just got some bits clustered up there. Then this way we've got a pocket here with, again, one of those coffee dyed note card from my printables. That just goes in there. And then here, oops. Oh, seems to be getting caught on something. Hold on. Right, so then here we've got some more of the coffee dyed note card here as a pocket like that. This is some actual vintage images from some vintage ephemera that I bought. That was a kind of pack of, of images. So isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? I love how that looks. This is obviously a printable photograph, so that just tucks in like that. But I just love the colours of this. It just works together so nicely. And then obviously this here, is it a pocket? Yeah, so we've got another pocket here. And again, just another one of those, the Victorian Florals printables. Just in a flip down there that's been coffee dyed, and then that just closes up and it tucks in behind that architecture photograph, and that just all goes onto there. Obviously this is more of that beautiful vintage image, and that just closes there. Then this is some vintage printable, and then obviously another coffee dyed note card and another printable photograph there, and then that just closes like that. But this here is a pocket, and this has just got, again, some vintage printable here of this certificate of baptism, which has been coffee dyed. And then you've got some coffee dyed doily there as well. So that just closes like that. And then here we've got a little, flippy piece with, again, some more of this gorgeous printable, which this time, this is a tab, which is a paper clip. So we've got some lace and things on there. But love how that looks. So it goes on, it then looks like a tab, but it's actually a paper clip. And this just folds up, which, how gorgeous does this look? And that fold up flip, it's literally just some printable that's been coffee dyed. But you've got an architecture picture there, and when it folds up, we've just got some sheet music and just an image here, a little label printable, and then just some lace as a belly band, and then just in here another one of my architecture photographs, coffee dyed, and that just goes in there. So just love how that looks. And then, like I say, you just pop the paper clip on which, you know, you can leave that sticking out a bit. So, oops, so it looks more like a tab, like that. And then in here, we've got a pocket, another one of my vintage photographs, a little journal card that I made there. And that just all goes in to that pocket. And then here we've got a pocket here with a label. And then I just coffee dyed some of this, you know, receipt kind of book. And then here we've got another pocket here at the back with a thumb hole, more of that gorgeous vintage paper. And then here we've got another one of those greaseproof paper, like flip outs. So this is a triple, you know, trifold piece. It's been stitched around on the sewing machine. We've got some of that awesome architecture paper there that's a cluster. Then we've got some coffee dyed paper there that's been glued on for journaling. And then 3 sheets of coffee dyed paper on the back for journaling there as well. So that just tucks in like that. And then this little piece tucks in there. And then this here again. So another big pocket here and a little flip out. So again, got more of that paper. It's all just tying it in and coordinating. This image here is from my Curator's Collection set 2, I think that's from. So that just goes like that. And then here we've got kind of 2 pockets. So we've got a pocket here and a pocket here. Got some doily. So in the first pocket, we've got a, you know, pretty large flippy notepad. It's got quite a few sheets of paper in there. And then we've got some glassine bag like that. But it's being formed into a little booklet. So again, some sort of random pages in there, clustered up some items on the front. So those 2 things went into that front pocket. And then in here in the back pocket, we've got this lovely journal, which again has just been made using some of that pretty Victorian florals paper. On the front, I've just got this large journal book plate. And then I just tucked in this gorgeous transparency of some perfume. I just put some bling just across there for some extra detail, some lace down the side, and then you've got quite a lot of pages in here of just, you know, random coffee dyed pages. And then just a paper clip here, just holding on some more vintage printable photographs like that. And then here on the front of the inside front cover, we've got another couple of bits tucked in behind this label, which is acting as a tuck spot. So that all goes in there. Now I'm just wondering, because what was this bit that I saw? I'm not sure where that's coming from. Unless, oh yes, I had another pocket up here. So yeah, unfortunately this seems to have come away a little bit here. So I'm going to have to just go in and stick this down. I don't know whether I can stick it down now, but yeah, it was obviously my rubbish stitching. I hadn't quite stitched it, you know, close enough. So let's just hope that I can glue it, you know, and rescue it like that. So just going to press that down. Okay, so this little journal then was tucked in here in the top, and I think we did make this on camera together. And this is some cover made from some sheet music cover. Absolutely love this little journal. It's so scrappy, it's so vintage, it's kind of falling apart, but that's part of its charm, I think. So on the front, we've got various different bits layered up. We've got some of that vintage piano music, piano paper, sorry, some of this vintage image from a vintage book, a large book plate there from my printables, and then some lace and some bling on here. And then inside, we've just got some various bits layered up on there. Lots of pages there of, again, varying sizes, all coffee dyed and just yummy. Got some more of that vintage piano music paper, some vintage book page, just really, really lovely. And it just, oh, it's just got this really vintage feel to it. And then here we've just got a big pocket running down the back. Again, it's some vintage book page, and you've just picked up that tiny little bit of the Victorian Florals paper. Tucked in a couple of my printables there for journal cards, just tucked into the back. And then the whole thing has been stitched around, I think. Has it been stitched around on the sewing machine? Oh, my eyesight's so terrible, I actually can't see. yes, it's been stitched around on the sewing machine to hold it closed. And then just for extra decorative detail, I just tied a little bit of this baker's twine around, just really for the kind of extra effect that that would have. It's not doing anything, it's not performing any function, because like I say, it's been stitched together on the sewing machine, but it just looks pretty, doesn't it? And it just kind of adds a little bit of colour onto there. So yeah, that's the journal. Obviously that tucks in to this top pocket. Now I'm not going to do that because obviously I'm trying to, you know, stick this down and hold this together, but that's where it would go. So yeah, that is my part 2, which obviously is my final part of the journals that I kind of, you know, for whatever weird, strange reason, I have hoarded and, you know, haven't been able to bring myself to part with. So hope you found it interesting. I hope you liked them. And yeah, I've I have refreshed my memory of some of the things that we used to do. And yeah, I wouldn't mind coming back and doing some of the, you know, sort of things that we've done here, just because, like I say, it actually all seems quite different to maybe some of the things that I've made more recently. So yeah, let's come back and do some grungy bits and some, you know, some scrappy bits and things like that. And we'll just kind of have a bit of a play around. My desk's a tip, so I've definitely got lots to work with. And yeah, we'll just kind of see what evolves really. So hope that you'll join me for that. I'm not sure when it will be, but yep, hopefully coming up soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.